Welcome back, Kaiju lovers. We're almost there. This is our second to last Day Zero build for Godzilla Reign of Kaiju. So today, of course, we have Rodan, Fire Rodan. A return to form for the Terror of the Sky, but let's see how this one stacks up to the original. It is a 6 hand size, 32 health character, as opposed to being a 721, I believe. We have Giant and Monster as our traits, and we have Air, Fire, and Void. So of course we have to have Fire, because we're Fire Rodan. So we have 2 enhances, the first of which is this attack gets +3 or -2 damage, only playable if this attack's speed is greater than its printed speed. So as long as you can keep your printed speed above, or your speed above printed speed, +3 damage on all your attacks, that's kind of the Godzilla rate, so that's pretty good. But you also get -2 damage on all of your rivals' attacks if their speed is greater than printed. So could be some good survivability here too. We also have Enhance, spend 1 momentum, seal 1 non-character card in your rival's card pool or stage. So if your rival's got some card pool responses, then you can just turn those off. Or you can seal any foundation, asset, backup, whatever's bothering you that's not a character in your rival's stage. Pretty solid control ability there. So our first attack here is Plunging Talon, a 4/3, 3-4 with a 2 mid block, slam keyword. As a blitz, your next check to play a high attack gets +1. And I think you'll find something interesting about all of the attacks that I've chosen for this deck. Next up is Frenzied Dive, a 4/3, 2-5 with a 2 mid block, EX2, Powerful 2, and Fury. So EX2 and Powerful 2 have the same cost, which is spend 1 or more momentum. And for each momentum you spend on your EX ability, you get +2 speed for this attack. And for each momentum you spend on your Powerful ability, you get +2 damage. So a good way to increase your speed over the printed to get +3 damage with Rodan. And as a static, while this card is in your card pool, your attacks get +1 speed, and you may sacrifice power tokens as though you were spending momentum to pay for EX abilities. So power tokens are generated by various effects. They sit in your card pool, or they sit in your stage, excuse me, and they can be sacrificed for +2 damage each. But this allows you to also sacrifice them to spend your EX power, so you can use all of your momentum on this attack for its powerful ability, and you can sacrifice power tokens for your EX ability. And it gives all your attacks +1 speed while it's in your card pool, so you're going to be able to give all of your attacks +3 damage with Rodan. It's solid. And then it has a blitz. We get to commit and seal 1 rival asset or foundation. So we can commit it, and if it had any abilities that were also tenacious, we can seal it as well. And it's also sealed if our rival would then be able to ready it. They still wouldn't be able to use its effects. Next up, we have Plummeting Talon Strike, a 4/3, 4-4 with a 3 mid block with EX3. Excuse me. We have a Blitz if you have 0 momentum. This attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. So if we've spent it all on our EX or our Powerful or what have you, or with Rodan's ability, we just get a free blanket 1 speed 1 damage, which then becomes 1 speed 4 damage with Rodan's ability. And then a response, after this attack deals damage, we get to add a power token to our stage, which we've already gone over what power tokens are used for, extra damage, or with Frenzied Dive, EX fodder. We've got Winged Death, a 5/3, 0-6 with a 2 mid block and Breaker 2. Breaker 2 is a responsibility that says after you block with this card, your rival's next check to play a card gets -2, which is one of my favorite defensive abilities. And we have a Blitz, Mill 2, remove 1 card from your discard pile. This attack gets +X speed, X equals the printed difficulty of the removed card. So if you remove a 5 difficulty attack, you get +5 damage, or +5 speed, excuse me. So it becomes a 5-6, and then with Rodan, a 5-9. That's really, really good. That is super solid. Speaking of super solid attacks, we have Aerial Reinforcement, a 5/3, 4 high for 7 with a 0 low block. Excuse me. With Breaker 1 and Titan, and that 0 low block is really, really solid. As a static, while this card is in your card pool, your other attacks get +1 speed and +1 damage. So you won't be able to get the 1/1 on this attack, but you'll be able to get it on all your other attacks. So imagine playing this into a Frenzied Dive. So it's getting +1, +2, +1, so it becomes a 4 high for 6. And then with Rodan, a 4 high for 9. That's pretty sweet. And then we have a Blitz, name a keyword, then reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card has the named keyword, draw it. So you can say Titan, you can say EX, you can say Slam, you can say Fury. Whatever you want, you can just say, hey, I'm going to declare this attack, this keyword, reveal top card of my deck. So if it's a card with that keyword, usually an attack, you can just draw it. If not, you know what your next check is going to be. So either way, it's pretty handy. And our last attack is Crashing Down, a 5/3, 4 high for 6 with a 2 mid block, EX2 and Slam. As a Blitz, we get to flip a foundation to give this attack +2 speed. So it becomes a 6 high 6, and with Fire Rodan, a 6 high 9. So obviously, all of my attacks are high attacks, so that we can get the maximum ability out of our Plunging Talon to make our checks easier, and for a certain action that we are playing with this. For our assets, we've got Cape of No Return, a 3/4, 3 high block with Unique. Unique being a keyword ability that says you can only have one copy of this card in your stage at a time. As an enhance, we can remove Cape of No Return to remove this current attack from the game. So it's just an auto-delete button for any of our rivals' attacks. And then for our action, I chose Sky Dominance, a 3/5, 1 high block. As a static, while this card is in your card pool, your high attacks get +1 speed and +1 damage. So that is a great way to guarantee that we get the bonus damage from Rodan, and it works on all of our attacks. So if we don't have the aerial reinforcement, we can just play this and then like a Plunging Talon, and then maybe a Plummeting Talon Strike. But as a form, we get to draw 1 card. And then if our next high attack deals damage, excuse me, we may clear it from our card pool after it resolves. So imagine playing Sky Dominance into a Plunging Talon. It's a 4 high for 5, 4 high for 8 with Fire Rodan, and let's say our rival only has a mid block. They take half damage, we get to clear Plunging Talon, and if we use the Blitz, our next attack is our next check to play an attack is +1. Imagine playing then into a Aerial Reinforcement or a Frenzied Dive to kind of stagger more stats onto all of our other attacks. Onto our foundations, because I didn't have any backups in this deck. We have the High Guard and Low Guard. 0 diffs are back. They don't do anything, but they have nice off-zone blocks, and we really want to see some of these early so we can build a wider stage early on, because we are definitely a more string-style deck here with Fire Rodan. We have Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, a 3/5, 3 mid-block, enhanced commit during our rival's turn. Our rival's next check gets -2, failing that check will not end the combat phase. Or we can enhance commit it on our turn, our next check gets +2. As we are a string character, this is very helpful to us. We can try to hack our rival's checks, excuse me, on their turn, and hopefully they'll have to commit more foundations so that all the speed we're giving, even though it's a little bit incremental, can help get our attacks over the finish line, and then on our turn, we can increase our checks and really string out hard. We have Soaring in the Skies, a 2/5, 3 mid-block, enhance our air attack gets +1 speed. I believe all of our attacks have the air symbol, except for Crashing Down. Crashing Down has Void, but all of our other attacks, except for Crashing Down, can just get blanket +1 speed for each copy of Soaring the Skies that we have. That's really good. That is guaranteed turning on our character ability and helping push all of that extra damage through. We've got Twisted Reflections, a 2/5/3 low block. Enhanced Commit, our rival's next check gets -1. If they pass that check, we get to add a power token to our stage. And of course, failing the check will not end the combat phase. So this is another thing that can help push our attacks through because we're giving our attacks speed, and then we're hacking our rivals' checks. We can also play this on our rival's turn, and if they pass their checks to either block or play the card or whatever we're using Twisted Reflections on, we get power tokens, which means we can pour all of our resources into speed and then use the power tokens for excess damage along with our character ability. We've got Go In Loud, a 2/5/2 low block, as a first enhance, so the first thing we want to do during our attack is to flip this. This attack gets +2 speed. Pretty simple. This is great for cards like Aerial Reinforcement that don't boost their own speed and can then turn on Fire Rodan's +3 damage, so it can become a 6 high for 10 as our starter, and it just sits there giving all of our other attack stats. We have Openly Doubting, a 1/5/2 high block with Fury. Response flip: after your attack is blocked, your next attack gets +2 speed or +2 damage. So if we need our attack to connect and maybe we don't have any incremental speed boost, we can give our next attack speed to turn on Rodan, or if we do have that speed already turned on, we can just stack on even more damage. We have Moment of Normalcy, a 2/5/3 high block with Unique. Enhance Commit this, return this attack to its printed speed or damage. So if we want to return something to its printed speed so that we can block it, we can. Or we can turn it to its printed damage if we didn't have a way to boost our rival's speed, or they didn't boost their speed, they just boosted a bunch of damage, and we can't block it. We can just return it to printed and take less damage. We have Treasure Hunting, a 1/5/3 high block. Form, flip, draw 1 card, discard 1 card if your rival has 15, unless your rival has 15 or more cards in their discard pile. So at worst, it's a bit of a cycle draw. It's just a draw 1, discard 1, but hey, if you're even like 3 turns in, it's just flip, draw a card. We've got Mikasa Defeats the Female Titan, a 2/4/3 low block. Response flip: after you block an attack, that attack deals no damage. Even if it's a throw, even if it's partial blocked, it will deal 0 damage as long as you blocked it. We have This Is My Chance, a 1/4/3 low block. Enhanced flip: if this is the only attack in your card pool, it gets +2 speed. Pretty good if we don't have a way to turn on Rodan. And then if it is completely blocked, you may clear it from your card pool. So if it is something like a Plunging Talon or a Plummeting Talon Strike, or just something that doesn't give the extra boosted stats, we could just clear it and keep our progressive difficulty down, because if it's completely blocked, it didn't deal damage, can't go to momentum anyway, might as well just clear it and make your rest of your turn easier. We have Rifle Arm, a 2/5/3 low block with the weapon keyword. Enhanced Commit: this attack gets +2 or -2 speed. If this is the only attack in its owner's card pool, it gets +3 or -3 speed instead. So what's fun is you don't just have to use this defensively or offensively with the plus and minus. You can give your rival's attack +2 speed, and then give it -2 damage if you couldn't block it anyway. Which you could also do with Deft Approach, a 1/5/2 mid block. Enhanced Commit: this attack gets +2 speed and -2 damage. So you give +2 speed, -2 damage, and then -2 damage with Rodan. And just say, yeah, I'm just going to give you -4 damage on this one attack. Pretty good way to just take the absolute minimum. This is a really good card in Fire Rodan across all 3 of its symbols, because it is a Fire Rodan card. But that is a basic Fire Rodan package. He's pretty straightforward. You just need to find a way to boost your attack speed by at least 1, and then not have your rival reduce your speed below printed before you could activate your +3 damage. But there are plenty of cards that give staggering stats, like the Frenzied Dive, like Aerial Reinforcement, that can just, or like Sky Dominance, that can just give all of your attacks plus speed. I believe there's another attack from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that's Blitz. All of your attacks get +1 speed for the turn. So that's another way that you can just turn on Fire Rodan instantly. And yeah, +3 damage. That's one of the reasons Godzilla is really strong. But Godzilla has to play 5 diff attacks and greater. Rodan can play lower difficulty attacks and still give big stats to them. Like, you could play a more 4 diff centric package. Like, I've got a decent split here, half and half, but you could just play like aerial reinforcement as your only 5 diff and then a bunch of 4s and 3s even, and still get a lot of stats out of them. So he definitely wants to be a string character, and he can target seal your rival's best cards, so you could really put your rival in a tough spot if you get an aggressive draw. But what do you guys think of our penultimate character for our Day Zeros? I know he seems a bit underwhelming compared to his counterpart, the Sky Monster, or Giant of the Sky, whatever he's called. The one that gives, like, speed or plus or minus speed equal to the block modifier of a removed card. But I think this guy does have some serious potential. Actually, I think most of the characters in this set have a lot of really good potential competitively. You just gotta crack the code. And I think Rodan's code is pretty easy to crack. But let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps me out a lot, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.